In the vast, sun-scorched heart of the world, two mighty empires stood as titans: Rome, reborn as Byzantium with its golden domes and iron legions, and Persia, the ancient Sassanid realm of fire temples, silk-robed kings, and elephant-backed armies. For centuries they clashed, bled each other white, and dreamed of final victory. Then, from the forgotten sands of Arabia, a land of scattered tribes, camel caravans, and forgotten gods, a whisper became a roar. A new faith rose, a people united, and in mere 2 decades they shattered the old world. This is the story of how the Caliphate shocked Rome and Persia and changed history forever. Chapter 1. Before Islam. Long before the call to Islamic prayer echoed across the deserts, Arabia was a harsh cradle of life. Prehistoric nomads had wandered these lands for millennia, following waterholes and seasonal rains, etching rock art of hunters and beasts into sandstone cliffs. By the dawn of recorded time, southern Arabia bloomed with sophisticated kingdoms. Saba, the biblical Sheba, where queens ruled from palaces of marble and frankincense perfumed the air. Massive dams captured rare floods, turning arid valleys green with fields and gardens. Caravans laden with myrrh, spices, and gold snaked north, linking Africa, India, and the Mediterranean in threads of wealth. But central and northern Arabia told a different tale. Here, life belonged to the Bedouin, fierce, proud tribes bound by blood, poetry, and the unforgiving code of honor. They lived in black goat hair tents, raided one another for camels and glory, composed odes that immortalized battles and betrayals. No kings ruled them, alliances shifted like desert winds. Mecca, a dusty oasis town, rose as a sacred crossroads. At its heart stood the Kaaba, a simple cube draped in black cloth, housing hundreds of idols from every tribe. Pilgrims came yearly during the sacred months, declaring truces to trade, worship, and drink from the ancient Zamzam well. The Quraysh tribe guarded this shrine, growing rich on pilgrimage taxes and caravan tolls. Yet beneath the surface simmered discontent, inequality, idol worship, misogyny, and tribal feuds. The stage was set for something revolutionary. Far to the north and east lay the exhausted giants. The Byzantine Empire, Eastern Rome, stretched from the walls of Constantinople to the sands of Egypt. Emperor Heraclius, a battle-hardened warrior king, ruled a Christian realm of Greek-speaking bureaucrats, cataphlact cavalry in gleaming scale armor, and the unbreachable Theodosian walls. Across the border loomed Sassanid Persia, Zoroastrian fire worshippers ruled by Shahanshahs in gilded palaces at Ctesiphon. Their armies featured heavily armored knights, war elephants trumpeting terror, and archers whose arrows darkened the sky. For decades, these empires devoured each other in endless wars. The final apocalyptic clash came from 602 to 628, the last great war of antiquity. It began when a usurper murdered Byzantine Emperor Maurus. Khosrow II used it as pretext for invasion. Persian hordes swept through Syria, captured Jerusalem in 614, seized the true cross itself, a relic of Christ, and pushed into Egypt. Cities burned, churches were looted. Heraclius, nearly broken, rallied in desperation. From 622, he launched daring counterstrikes, allying with steppe tribes, marching deep into Persia, sacking royal palaces. In 627, at Nineveh, he crushed the Persian army. Khosrow II fell to assassins in 628. His empire dissolved into chaos and civil war. Byzantium reclaimed its lands, but at ruinous cost. Armies were decimated, treasuries empty, borders porous, populations starved and resentful. Both empires staggered like wounded giants, unaware that a storm brewed in the south. Chapter 2. Arrival of the Prophet. It's the year 570 in busy Mecca. The markets are full of traders, camels, and shouting voices. A baby boy named Muhammad is born to the Quraysh tribe. Unfortunately, his father dies before he's born, and his mother also passes when he's 6. He grows up as an orphan, but kind and honest. People call him Al-Amin, the trustworthy one, because he never lies. As a young man, he becomes a merchant. He travels with caravans across the desert and meets Jews and Christians who talk about one God. At 25, he marries Khadija, a smart and rich widow who loves his good heart. When he's 40, he goes to a quiet cave on Mount Hira to think and pray. Suddenly, the angel Gabriel appears and says, "Ikra," read. Beautiful words come down, the start of the Quran. Muhammad is scared but amazed. He tells Khadija, and she believes him first. She becomes the very first Muslim. He starts teaching in Mecca. Believe in one God, be fair, help the poor, stop worshiping idols. At first, only family and close friends listen. Then the rich leaders get angry. They mock him, hurt his followers, and stop selling them food. Life becomes very hard. In 622, God tells him to leave. Muhammad and his followers escape at night to Medina. This journey is called the Hijra, and it starts the Islamic calendar. In Medina, people welcome them. Muhammad makes peace between tribes and writes rules so everyone, Muslims, Jews, others, live together fairly. He becomes a leader, judge, and sometimes fighter. They win brave battles like Badr, face hard days at Uhud, and make treaties. In 630, he returns to Mecca peacefully. The city opens its gates. He forgives his old enemies and cleans the Kaaba of idols. After the conquest of Mecca, the Arabian people started to get attracted to Islam. When Prophet Muhammad dies in 632, all of Arabia is united, not by force or family ties, but by faith in God and love for one another. Chapter 3. Begin of Islamic Conquest. After Prophet Muhammad, the first caliph of Islam, Abu Bakr, faced immediate crisis. Tribes rebelled, refusing taxes, claiming new prophets. So jihad, with the name of Ridda Wars, began to end the civil war. The Ridda Wars were swift and brutal. Abu Bakr's forces crushed dissent, forging Arabia into one unbreakable sword. Then the gaze turned outward. Under Caliph Umar ibn al-Khattab, a towering figure of justice and iron will, the conquests began. The exhausted empires were ripe for the taking. First came Syria and the Levant. Khalid ibn al-Walid, the Sword of God, a former enemy of Islam turned unmatched genius, marched from Iraq in a legendary desert crossing, uniting scattered Muslim forces. In 636, at the Yarmouk River, the Byzantines assembled their last great army, 40,000 to 100,000 men, under Vahan, with heavy infantry, cataphracts, and allied Armenians and Ghassanids. The Muslims, perhaps 20,000 to 40,000, camped amid ravines and dust. For 6 grueling days in August, they clashed. Dust storms blinded the Byzantines. Khalid's mobile cavalry, light, swift horsemen, struck flanks like lightning. He maneuvered reserves brilliantly, plugging gaps, feinting retreats to lure enemies into traps. On the final day, a sand-laden wind roared from behind the Muslims, driving grit into Byzantine eyes. The Roman lines shattered. Thousands drowned in the river or fell in panic. Heraclius wept in Antioch, knowing Syria was lost. Damascus, Jerusalem, surrendered peacefully to Umar himself in 638, who guaranteed safety for Christians and Jews. Simultaneously, in the east, Persia faced its doom. At Al-Qadisiyah in November 636, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, veteran of early battles, suffering from old wounds yet resolute, led 30,000 Arabs against Rustam Farrukhzad's massive Sassanid host, perhaps 100,000 plus, with war elephants, elite immortals, and endless archers. For 4 days along the Euphrates banks, dust and blood mingled. Persians charged with trumpeting elephants. Muslims countered with disciplined lines, camel-mounted archers, and prayers that steadied hearts. Rustam, commanding from a throne atop the battlefield, saw his elephants panicked by flaming arrows and turned against his own men. On the 4th day, a Muslim assault reached Rustam's position. He fought fiercely but was slain, his body trampled in the chaos. The Persian army broke. Iraq fell. Ctesiphon surrendered in 637. By 651, the last Sassanid king was hunted down. Persia, the empire of Cyrus and Darius, vanished. In less than 20 years, from desert tribes to world empire. Why? Exhausted foes, brilliant generals like Khalid and Saad, unbreakable unity under faith, lightning mobility, promises of tolerance that won local hearts weary of taxes and persecution. The Caliphate didn't just conquer, it transformed the map, birthing an era of science, philosophy, and faith that stretched from Spain to India.